Welcome to Bay Area Sports Report, and today we will be talking about four segments on the on this channel. And for first one will be Ricky Pearsall's injury update, the Substation investigation by a podcaster, 10 players to watch for today's 49ers versus Titans game, and the 49ers versus Titans preseason preview. I'll also give away my game takeaways or keys to the game. So let's get right into it. But comment down below if you guys are excited for 49ers versus the Titans preseason game. If you're excited that football is back for the 49ers. So first I want to get into Ricky Pearsall's injury update. As you know, Ricky Pearsall has now gotten surgery, which is now wishing for a good recovery, has officially gotten it. You can see his knee is gotten recovery. And first I want to quote this as first he said, "Nothing to be disappointed about, no regrets, no what ifs, just peace in midst of yet another trial, knowing I did everything I could. I gave myself time to discount, connect from the world, process everything, and shift my focus toward what's ahead over these next 9 months. All I have ever known is football. I never missed a game because of a football injury in my entire career. So when I got the news, it was hard to wrap my mind around the fact that the same injury I had been fighting through, the one that was supposed to be alright, was ultimately going to require surgery and end my 2026 season. Not to start off, I feel like this is all the training staff's fault. Who knows? Just like that, face to face with another challenge, but now it's time. Time to completely shift my mind, time to hone in on every aspect of myself, mentally, physically, and spiritually, time to lock it all in. And there's a different kind of peace that comes with knowing you did everything in your power to prepare yourself, fight through it, and keep going. At some point, you leave the rest to God. So that's exactly what I'm doing. The road starts now. I'm ready for every part of it, every early morning, every setback. I don't know about that part, but every small win nobody sees, every step that gets me closer to stepping back on that field. Thank you to everyone who supports me, and even more to the ones who doubt me. I love you all. Now it's time to prove exactly what I know I am and become everything God gave me the potential to be. 9 months mindset. God bless. Now, after reading this quote twice, I can see that he's kind of content with that he's ready to move on, and I like that from Ricky. It's been an issue for him. I felt it's a bit of an issue, and it's sad to see that he got injured. He had so much potential. He was looking so good in those couple of training camps, 3 or 4, or 2 or 3, I don't know. But he was looking so good. He was looking so promising for the team. It's just disappointing to see that. I think, in my view, they're saying that this might be over for Pearsall. I don't think it is. It is starting to look like it. It's getting a little bit close, but I don't think not right now, though. But Ricky Pearsall, he wasn't a bad player. He was very good for this team. Like 2024 was kind of good. This was like when he was debuting. He played 11 games, 9 games. He was good. He was the best in separation. He was the best separator, the best route runner, and I think Ricky Pearsall has a chance to come back from this injury and be better next season. I think he still has a chance to redeem himself, and maybe he'll have a 1,000 yard game or season. If he has that, then I think he does have a chance to possibly start for this team. I think he has a chance to redeem himself on that. But right now, I think he's now focusing on his recovery, and I wish him the very best on his recovery. Hopefully, he comes back and gets better and shows that he's still that best separator. I don't know. I feel like that injury is kind of devastating, especially. So we're not so sure on that, but we'll have to see and see what comes next. So, oh, Best regards to Ricky Pearsall. Hope you feel better soon, man. Next is the Substation investigation, as Pablo Torre investigated the 49ers electrical substation theory. And here's the quote by McNulty. Conclusions from deep dive. The bottom line, we can safely say the substation, the evidence just isn't there. That is to blame for the injuries the 49ers have had. Sorry, that's the quote on that. Here's a little bit of a listen.
Thing to blame, and it gives you comfort, and it gives us there's something to focus on. But the truth is that sometimes it just happens, and injuries just happen. And you look at the stats, the 32 teams, 16 of them are going to be at the bottom half. That's just stats, right? There is this concept, Pablo, in psychology called the deep story, and it's basically the story that everyone believes, this emotional story that everyone's pulled into, whether it's true or not. And so I think the deep story here is that the 49ers are plagued year after year after year with crazy amounts of injuries, when really, when you look at the stats, they're not doing great. I'm not out here saying that like this is that they're the best in the league, healthiest in the league. Absolutely not. But they are not doing crazy bad, crazy enough that we need to reach for substations to explain what's going on.
You are, as a non-NFL expert, getting to explain the NFL in ways that might be cutting to the core of the psychology of the people who love America's foremost cultural institution.
I'm doing my best. So I think, bottom line, we could safely say the substation, the evidence just isn't there that is to blame for the injuries the 49ers have had.
This feels comprehensive in a way that a blowout loss tends to feel in this very American game. And also, I kind of feel so the full NFL experience.
Yeah, we've done our job. We've hit you over the head with the facts.
And then here's some more from the Substation. So overall, like from listening to those quotes from there, I've always believed that this isn't the Substation because it's just the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in the world. It just doesn't feel like it's the right thing. It just doesn't feel like it's a solution to these. I still believe it's the training staff. And even back like in 2018, when Shanahan and John first took over, there were injuries even before this Substation was like so big. And they still had a little bit of injuries still. They still had some injuries and during 2018 and 2019 and then 2020. That's when the Substation wasn't big, and then 2021, that's when Substation was big a little through 2026. But even back then, they still had injuries even before the Substation was very big. And like I get it, like even George Kittle kind of believes it, even Steve C kind of believes it a little, but I think it's just the most ridiculous thing. Even a lot of people are investigating it, and I get it. Our body is made of 100% electricity, but that doesn't mean like it affects our energy. Like the electricity just travels through our body, and then it just possibly like causes an ACL injury. That doesn't even mean anything. Like how would that even work? Like sure, electricity is in our body, but technically it doesn't exactly work like that because electricity is mostly usually in our hearts because we need that, and it's also in our brains also whenever we need to think on something. Like it doesn't cause injuries to happen, so I think it's just kind of a ridiculous thing. Like if you want to believe in the Substation, don't get me. Go ahead and believe that. But in my view, I think it's the training staff, because ever since Dustin Little, and I made this video earlier, that I knew this was going to happen, that Ricky Pearsall, I knew he was going to be out for the rest of the season because he's had those knee injuries ever since, like, for a while. And I knew this was going to happen. I knew he was going to be out for the rest of the season even before then. Like, a small little hope of me believed that he was going to be okay, but at the same time, there's a doubt that he's going to be out the season. And I was right on that. And I still believe that it's this training staff that is making these injuries worse. Because I don't think because when you're a trainer, it's your job to help your players to feel healthy and to feel better and to see the issues and tell them advice on what to do on those injuries. Now they're not doing that, right? They're not doing that. And in conclusion, I just think the injury. I don't think. In conclusion, I don't think it's the substation. I think it's the training staff because if the Niners have the same thing where they have these same injuries, then they have to fire them. I don't like they've hired like only 3 people to help them, and I appreciate that. That's a good thing, but I think you have to fire the entire training staff because they're not doing a good job, and a lot of people are just making fun of this substation thing. Like I've seen so many shorts, I've seen so many TikToks, I've seen like so many stuff, so many like a fake article, like I mentioned earlier on the substation, like a fake account of the substation. Like this is getting ridiculous on this at this rate. Like it's getting ridiculous. So in conclusion, I believe it's a training staff in my view. So I believe it is that. Next on my next segment are the 10 players to watch for the 49ers versus the Tennessee Titans. The first one I want to go for is Jordan Watkins. Now, Jordan Watkins was very good last season for the preseason. For preseason, he's very good for the team. He was very solid. Was very good in Ole Miss. Very good. When we first drafted him, 906 yards, 9 touchdowns. He was a very good player. So, and he made some very good plays, especially that Denver Broncos game, which I was at, where he was able to catch that ball. So that was pretty awesome to see that for Jordan Watkins. Unfortunately, that maybe derailed his injury. But he could have a chance to possibly make it to the punt returning, because as you can see here, they released in my short. I mentioned that they released Junior Bergen. And I don't know if they're going to bring him back. We'll have to see and wait. But I could see Jordan Watkins being the punt returner or even the kick returner possibly. So, and now that Jacob Cowing is injured right here, they don't have him injured right now. But as Jacob Cowing is now injured, he now has a chance to possibly take over that punt return job. And if he could just show it off in that preseason game, I don't think he's gonna have a role in the bet on being be able to, like, let's say come out for Deebo Samuel or like Mike Evans or Stribling for something like that. I think that's kind of a job for like Robinson and then another receiver. I think maybe try another one. We'll have to see. But in conclusion, I think he does. I think he has a chance to be the punt returner. So I believe Jordan Watkins has a chance in that. Next is Will Pauling, another receiver. Will Pauling has been interesting. Leonard Hankerson loves Will Pauling's blocking. He works hard. He's also getting some work at punt returning. So we'll see if he gets that. I think I like Will Pauling. He's kind of a good player, along with Wesley Grimes, who was another UDFA. So I'm looking at those two and see if they can bring in like punt returning or kick returning or being able to at least block a little. I want to see Will Pauling block for the running backs and see how he does on that. So I want to see that for both of those guys and also some receiving yards for those two. So I'm excited for those two. Next is Carver Willis. Sorry that I went through, by the way, more players. I just wanted to highlight some other players that I want to highlight. But Carver Willis is another one. Now, Carver Willis was kind of buried down between the Robert Jones versus Colby match. But now that Connor Colby's kind of moved to right guard and they don't trust him, now it's Carver Willis versus Robert Jones. And I feel like Carver Willis, if he does good in this preseason game and able to pass block and be able to play good, be able to help in the run game, then I think he has a chance to start. Because Robert Jones is good and he knows Shanahan's system, but he's also has some injury issues. And I'd rather go with a young player in Carver Willis to help this team than to go with Robert Jones. So I think he has a chance to do that only if he does good in this preseason game. Jack Jones is another one that I have. Now, he's a bit of an interesting one because At the same time, very he's been good in training camp, but at the same time, he has been not good at the same time. So if Jack Jones can like be very good as a good cornerback, at least be a reliable player in case to replace, in case of an injury, let's just say that, then I think he has a chance to possibly make it. Then I think he has a chance to be the Niners like him a bit more, and I think he'll have a good chance to be able to start for this team, help out at special teams. Also, I want to see that also for Jack Jones, and I also want to see him during like kick returns. Maybe I want to see that also for like blocking. So I want to see that from him too. Next is Nick Martin, which I'm excited on him. I can't wait to see Nick Martin. We'll have to see on how he does. Hopefully, he doesn't go down in injury. I can't wait to see Nick Martin. He's been so good in this training camp, along with Jaden Duggar, and those two have been working hard. Especially Nick Martin. I'm really excited on how he came back from that injury, and now he's been very good ever since he came back from training camp and putting on pads. Ever since he put on the pads, he's been just so good, locked in, and I can't wait to see that. It's gonna be awesome to see him on the field. I can't wait for that. Along with Jaden Duggar, we'll see if he can be possibly making it on in the D line. We'll see if he could move up to safety. We'll have to see on that, and we'll see how he does in linebacker. So I'm excited for both of those guys in the linebacker position. So I'm excited for those two. Next is Bryson Eason. Now this guy has been a UDFA for the 49ers, and he has a chance to make it onto the practice squad. As Evan Anderson, he didn't have that range back then, but for Bryson Eason, he has that range. He's able to like get stuff run lanes. He's also has a chance to use that range to make some pass rush moves. So I think that's what Evan Anderson didn't exactly have. So I would love it to see Bryson Eason maybe make it to the roster. But at the same time, I want CJ West and Halton. I don't think he has a chance on that, but I do believe he can make it into the practice squad. And I can't wait to see on how he does in this training camp, or on how he does against this game against the Titans. Next is Dejon Stribling. We'll see. I can't wait to see how he does against the Titans. He's been very good lately, and we'll see how he does for the 49ers. I can't wait for him to catch passes. We'll see how his blocking goes. We'll see how his route running looks. So I want to see those things and hope that he gets better at that. So that way he could be the receiver 3, because I really don't trust DeMarcus Robinson being the wide receiver 3. So I'd rather just do that. Rather have him start at the receiver 3 with Debo and Mike Evans. So I would rather see that for the 49ers. Next is Romello Height. He's been very good for the team. I don't think we'll see. He might have issues with the run game. Hopefully he has improved on that. So hopefully we'll see if he can. He does. And we'll see his pass rush moves. I'm hoping he can pull out those good pass rush moves. At least get some pressure. Get some sacks. So I'm excited for that. Halton, same thing too. Hopefully he can. He's been very good ever since he came back from his injury, and I can't wait to see him inside the area pass rushing and getting some pressure on the quarterback. So I'm excited for that. Ephesians Preseason is another cornerback. I could see him being a good cornerback. I would love to see if he gets some picks. He didn't get that a lot in college, so I would love it if they improved on that and that he does better. So I can't wait for Preseason to be on the field. So he'll be kind of good for this team, and I think he's a good long cornerback. He's going to be able to get some pass pickups. I think it's exciting. I can't wait to see him out there. Curtis Rourke is another one, as he's also a trade candidate also, as people are looking at him as maybe a trade candidate for the 49ers along with Mac Jones. And it's kind of interesting because I thought like Curtis Rourke doing good would mean Mac Jones would get traded, because it would not need that. And we'll see how Curtis Rourke does. He's been doing good in training camp. A lot of people like and are excited to see him in the preseason. So I can't wait to see that for the 49ers. So hopefully Curtis Rourke can at least do good and maybe have Mac Jones get traded for at least something better to help the team, especially on the D line with Nick Bosa with injury possibly. So, but we'll have to see. It's week to week right now, so I don't have so we'll have to see on that. But I can't wait to see Curtis work. We'll see how he does in the Titans preseason game. And then Connor Colby is the last one. And he needs to start to do good on this game because if he wants to win that left guard job or do good and have 49ers trust him, then he has to do good in this preseason game. If he doesn't do that, then it might go to Carver Willis or Robert Jones, which I don't not like. I don't mind Colby not starting. I'd rather do Carver Willis instead of him because I feel like Carver Willis is a better guard than him, so I'd rather stick with him. But if Connor Colby, so I want good pass blocking. I think he's done well in the running game. I think pass blocking. I want to see if he is improved on that. So I want to see that for him. And then here's some game day. I'm excited for this game for the 49ers. So and then Mac Jones saying that he's ready. So he'll probably start for the 49ers in that preseason game. So we'll see how he does too. So I'm excited for these 10 players and hopefully they do good. So I'm hoping they can at least be able to step up and earn their spots on this team. Next is the 49ers Titans preseason preview. And I've put out my keys to the game as the first one for the 49ers is watch Curtis work closely with the future starters expected to play. We'll see which starters start. We'll have to see on that. Avoid turnovers and keep the offense in rhythm for them, so that way they can be able to get things going. Next is win the line of scrimmage, so that means young offensive linemen, especially the left guard position, Dominic Punt, the right guard position, center. So we need some of those young guys to step up and be able to be good backups, especially for the starters for the offensive line. Number 3 is watch the new 49ers defense. Moore's fever backer role is one of the most interesting things to watch. It blends linebackers, nickels, and ends responsibilities. Young defenders like Jaden Duggar need to show that they can handle multiple responsibilities, which you could see with Jaden Duggar. He was able to linebacker in training camp, safety, and D-line. So we'll have to see how he does on that. Take Ham Ward. And also have the 49ers secondary be able to handle rookie wide receiver Cardell Tate. Tate has been a very good receiver. He's been the second best receiver for the in this draft class, and he's been very good. But the Niners were able to shut him down. So we'll have to see on how this goes for the team. So I'm excited on it. So we'll have to see how they can handle Cardell Tate and Cam Ward against the offense. Special teams in preseason games, backups often decide the outcome. Field position, punt coverages, returns, and kicking could be the difference. So they need to be able to handle punt coverages, be able to handle like block for them. Returns and kicking also need to be able to handle blocking for the return man and be able to get them at least a good field goal in range and field position. So I want to see that for some team players. And then 6 is who wins the roster battles, especially keeping an eye on Will Pauling, Preseason, Nick Martin, Alfred Collins is another one. See if he can be next to Osa Digizua, so we'll see on that, and Carver Willis. These games are particularly important for players fighting for roster spots or bigger roles. Young defense plus backup quarterback performance, San Francisco can pressure Cam Ward without constant blitzing and working to efficiently move the offense. I feel pretty good about the 49ers today. So, hopefully avoiding injuries also. So, hopefully no more injuries. If there are more injuries, it's kind of ridiculous in my view. So, it's going to feel ridiculous. But yeah, those are my keys to the game also. And I also gave you players to watch for the 49ers to watch. And that should be it. Make sure to like, subscribe, share, comment down below on what you think of the 4 segments that I talked about. And comment down below if you're excited for this 49ers vs. Titans game. And this is Bay Area Sports Report, signing off.